From the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you from Gentile, you from Lower Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sess. I'm a bastard, we own your people. I walk on the fine way. Tabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah oh yeah, I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah oh yeah yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my gun. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the sun, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United we stand, divided we fall. So that's what they say when I come with ball. When I chillin' on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, I'm joining the team. You go where you pella, you love my crown. Who kill it? Who got it?
I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah oh yeah yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah oh yeah yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabali kena koya bake na papa kobo. Nabali kena koya bake na papa kobo. Nabali kola kobo na papa kobo. Nabali kola kobo na papa kobo. La biro waka koma o. La biro waka ma o. Balanda no waka ma o. I know
from the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fall.
Mama was born here. Papa was born here. They hold hands together. That's how the born is here. This is how we like to introduce and welcome you to the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour current affairs, current affairs program that talks about the major happenings in Liberia. And we are here today again. My name is Washington Prince Tapper Jr. This is how I like to welcome you to the biggest thing happening on radio at about this time, where we're going to put Liberia on the microscope and tell you all of the trending issues in the country and how we can rebuild the fabric of Liberia. Welcome. Whether you're watching us from our social media page or you're listening via your radio, wherever you're listening from, I want to use this opportunity to say good evening and welcome. Today is Friday, but let me cross over to my host, where we're going to have a spirited and interactive conversation tonight. Good evening, and how are you doing?
Everybody loves Friday.
And you love it so much.
Of course. When it's Friday, I get so excited. I don't know for some reason, but I know everyone loves Friday. But it's good to be here again. And we bless God for another opportunity to be counted amongst the living.
Exactly.
And so let's do it. Today is the 22nd day of September.
Mm-hmm.
The year remains 2023. We go into elections on the 10th of October. So you can imagine we've got less than 3 weeks to elections. This thing we were talking about, last year, months ago. Now we got weeks to elections. We'll soon sit here and get, and we'll be talking about days to elections.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Exactly.
We're getting there. We're getting closer.
17 more days.
Oh, okay.
17 more days to elections.
Less than 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's good to be here, Washington. What's up?
It's good to be here. And today is Friday. Friday is the weekend. The weekend begins on Friday, and I know you love it.
Yeah, the Friday is Friday already. So.
Okay, so let's throw it out to you. Open Conversation has a trend, and the trend is that we introduce our guests to the public for the night, and then we talk about the trending issues that are making headways in the country for the day or two. So who be our guest tonight?
So our guest be a former reporter like myself, a former reporter of Truth FM, the former Secretary General of the Press Union of Liberia, and representative candidate in my district.
In your district.
Yeah, district number 2, Musa BM Kane, is our guest this evening on Open Conversation. He already knows what he's, out for, because he's contesting in my district. And so he's under the microscope tonight. And people of district
by his
2,
colleague.
Yeah, of course. And so he will be our guest this evening on our Open Conversation. So if you're in district number 2, one of the candidates running in your district will be, grilled tonight. You just have to keep listening, and let's grill Musa Kane tonight on Open Conversation.
You don't want to miss it. It promises to be firing tonight. So that is it. Our guest tonight is Musa Kane, representative candidate, former reporter. So let's go into the trending issue. Today, something dramatic happened in Nuku Town. In Nuku Town, district number 16. The legislative debate is going on. The purpose of this debate is that, it exposed representative candidates who want to lead their people, in particular in specific districts, provides them the platform to be able to, sell out their messages to the people that they want to lead. So today, the folks were in Nuku Town in district number 16, and the debate was going on. Irene Momo spoke today. I think you remember we had her here some weeks back. Irene Momo, Bishop Konto spoke today. A few of the guys spoke today. So there were questions, that were to be asked. So our colleague Julius, asked a question about education. So how are these representative candidates, are anticipating to sustain, their educational policy if they happen to win the elections in October 2023? And what will be, the procedures to sustain that? So I think representative candidate Bishop Konto spoke, Aaron spoke, Dixon Sibo, representative of district number 16, was about to mount the podium. What happened? You wouldn't believe it. The folks came with black, they were dressed up in black. To my greatest surprise, that occasion was disrupted today with serious violence, to the extent that police, and can you imagine, the program was held right in the face of the police, because let the town hall, the old town hall, and here is the police station, here is the I don't know how to call the other place, everything was just right in the same place. And that program was disrupted today. It is believed that people supporting Bishop Konto disrupted the program today, allegedly.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
They said that they don't want Representative Sibo to speak. And then, according to, the people we spoke with, they don't want Representative Sibo to speak.
Why?
Then we say, why? Because you should allow Representative Sibo to speak, to tell the people what he's done for the district in terms of education, in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of policy making, in terms of all of these things that he was elected based. He was elected for being representative for your district. So you should have given him. But today it was not a good scene to observe. It was very, very, very ugly, and the debate was disrupted, and it did not continue. And if it happens in that form and manner, and I think the reflection that came out today was not a good reflection from Nuku Town. To be honest, the people of Nuku Town today, we know you people to be civilized people. The young people should desist from violence. The whole thing was disrupted today.
Let me
Very
ask you one
chaotic.
question.
Yeah.
What did Bishop Konto say?
Bishop? No, Bishop did not say, because when the stuff was being disrupted, those same very people were seen around Bishop.
So
You understand?
you guys did not ask Bishop. Bishop, we're hearing that these people who disrupted this whole program are from your camp. What do you say about that?
Those same very people, Titi, those same very people were seen around the Bishop. I'm coming.
You're not answering my question.
Bishop was not able to speak.
What do you mean when you say he was not able to speak?
He didn't speak.
But you didn't ask him.
He didn't speak.
Did you ask
Everybody
him?
fled the scene.
But you said they were seen around Bishop.
They were seen around him and they fled. They left with him. They fled, Titi.
That is sad. And I don't want to put a blanket, comment on the people of District number 16.
Mm-hmm.
People are responsible for their actions. The people who elected Dixon Sibo in that district have a right to listen to what Representative Sibo has to say, and all other candidates who are, seeking the representative seat of that district.
Exactly.
So if you have a handful of people who were told by another person allegedly to disrupt a program, you can put a blanket statement on the whole district because few persons have decided to do such a thing. So my thing is, Bishop needs to come up and say whether or not this group of people are associated with him, or these group of people are associated with him, and it has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It has to stop, because you can't go to a debate where you will have people who should be listening to what the candidates have to say, come in and disrupt the whole process and say you don't want to listen to a certain lawmaker or, a certain candidate. Who told you to infringe on my right? Because I have the right to listen.
Exactly.
Because I'm in the district. So you got no right to come and disrupt a program like that. But it's just a sad thing, and I think Bishop Kantor needs to come out and say whether or not he's responsible or those people are under his wings. So
let's move to something else. The Ministry of Health is warning citizens in the Palm Beach community, Riverview, and Mark Gibby County against the eating of the giant whale that came out of the water. I think yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday,
it was
yes.
washed offshore.
Yes.
And everybody decided to go and take a picture
Very good
of the world. And that is sad. It's sickening, because you really don't know exactly. We said this last night at the tail end of the show when we heard that news, that you don't know exactly what killed that whale.
Mm-hmm.
And because you feel you found something to eat, some fish to eat, you go and eat it and you create problems. That is, it's scary,
mm-hmm.
because that's how sicknesses come about. Nobody knows. These people have to check to know exactly what killed that whale. And people go in there and think that I'm when they're going for. This is sad, and people need to stop, because you're eating it and you don't know what's going to happen to you after.
Not at all.
You don't want to get sick after eating something. And you see it as a blessing, because that's what we heard today. People think that they've found fish for a whole month,
mm-hmm.
but you don't know, you might be eating something that will, take your life away, subsequently. So people need to stop. And NAFA has said that, people should stop, because nobody knows exactly. They are investigating to know exactly what killed that whale. And so maybe if it's something for eating, later on they will tell you, and then you can go and make your moment. But for now, you need to stop.
You need to stop eating it. It's not good at all. So Representative Thomas Fala is in Lofa County. I think you're aware of what is going on in Lofa County.
We're talking about the LPB, the spell Roma.
Yes, the LPB, yeah. you just carry me back anyway. So the LPB today spoke on one of our sister radio stations that they've already launched their campaign.
Tiawan
Gonglo said,
Councillor Gonglo.
Mm-hmm. The LPP, they've said that the campaign was launched August 19, 2023 in Nimba County. They launched the campaign, and they are not a political party that is oriented with crowd politics. So the speculation going around that the LPP is going to launch their campaign in Montserrado County is a myth. So they're not... What are you laughing for?
Hey, Council, I can imagine him on the car and then with the broom in his hand.
Yeah.
That one man, one show. So he's just going in his open tap, and then he says, "The broom is here to sweep corruption.
Sweep
The
it.
broom is here. We're gonna sweep corruption. Vote for us. Vote for the broom." The one man won, no Crawford though.
So the company having that, the company launching that
yeah,
their stuff.
please, yeah, your crowd, that crowd thing, it's not working with Councillor Gongo.
And one thing they said
Eh.
they're going to these elections, and they see themselves in the second round. And in the second round, they are defeating anybody they meet in the second round.
Don't overlook you. I can even see posters around here with the broom.
Is that
The man said, well, everybody already know Councillor Gonglo.
Councillor Gongo is a popular man, so he doesn't even need the much publicity, to put flyers all around the country. No, he doesn't need that because he's already well known. So don't go there with him on that.
Anyway, somebody says, the people who brooms are noted for 3 a.m. Performances.
Exactly.
So maybe he does his thing at 3 a.m., 3 to 5 a.m. when everybody is sleeping. So on election day, you just wake up and then you don't even know you're just voting Councillor Gongo.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
That's the confidence they expressed in these elections. But let's go to Lofa County and see what's happening there within the angles of Representative candidate Thomas Pangafala. So Thomas Fala will be launching.
He launched today.
Oh yes,
He will be
he launched today, and the multiplicity, the number, the huge turnout of people today in District Number 1, Lofa County, sends a strong signal. And the interview by a lot of people today, the revelation that came out that Lofa County now doesn't belong to a particular political party in the past, like the Unity Party, because it has been perceived that Lofa County is the home and the base of the Unity Party. But I think with the infusion of these political actors from the CDC, and other political actors who have grounds and base in Lofa County, so it puts the Unity Party in a very difficult political position to determine whether the Unity Party takes full political control of Lofa County or Lofa County is a political place to fight for, because you can see this gone senatorial election was a different case. The by-election in Lofa County was also a different case. Lofa County is not being won by the Unity Party as expected. Now see what Thomas Fada, the turnout today in District Number 1, Lofa County, when it comes to Thomas Fala. So the revelation of the people came out that Unity Party is not going to get an easy ride in Lofa County when it comes to these 2023 elections, both representative, senatorial, and presidential.
Pressure. Okay, so you couldn't have said it any better. The thing about it is, the people of Lofa, the last time we spoke with the superintendent, you remember when we started the show newly, we spoke with the superintendent of Lofa County. And I remember his exact words were, Titi, the people of Lofa County have decided to choose development over tradition. And it's no secret. We see these things where I'm not physically in Lofa County, but everywhere in the world you want to see is brought to you via the internet. If something is happening in my hometown in Sino or Grand Crew County and I want to see it and somebody is there, that's it's just a click away, and just go live and tell somebody, go live and let me see what exactly is happening here. And if you see what's happening in Lofa County, and let me be specific to Foya, then you have no reason to doubt the crowd that came out today. The kind of work that is going on in Lofa County, especially the hometown of former Vice President Joseph Yumabwaka, which is Foya, it speaks volume. What the CDC is doing in Lofa County speaks volume. And if the superintendent of the county tells you that, our people, because he is the vice juror of the president in a county. And if he tells you that my people have decided to take development over tradition, and you see the kind of turnout, these few days, Lofa has been on fire, political fire, from Vaun to Zozo to whatever, big city you can name in Lofa County, it has been blue. And today, the crowd that was pulled in FOIA by Representative Thomas Fala, I'm sure it sent a shock down a lot of people's spine. Take it or leave it. I know the Unity Party knows that, what is happening in Lofa. If they ever doubted the ability of the CDC to pull votes in that county, today they are like, what? We must have been sleeping.
It's visible.
That was a show, a real good show poured by Representative Thomas Fala. And you can tell where Representative Yumane is, he must be thinking something different, because it's not on one front. It's on all fronts. The current or the incumbent lawmaker of District Number 1 knows that he has a force to reckon with.
Exactly.
And not, only that, but even the former Vice President, Joseph Yomobwaka, in his own backyard, his backyard turned blue today. You can imagine if Thomas Fala, representative, can pour such a crowd. Imagine the president, going to Lofa County, what is going to happen? So the Unity Party folks have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
If they thought, they were going to get it lying down. It's like the people of Lofa County are thinking something different.
That's what we say. That's what the political dynamism is changing. The minds of the voters are not like the yesterday voters. Traditional voting, family voting and all of that. I think that is transforming into something different. The physical reality of these politicians, the display of your political nature, your true character, will be predicated upon why the people vote for you.
That thing about, you are our hero, you are our tribal man, you are our uncle. People deserve better, and people want you to be in power. And if you're in power, they want their lives to be better. It's no more, because you're my relative or you're my uncle or you saved me during the war. The war is over, and even if you're my relative, me, who not like better thing. So I have to live a better life. If I have an opportunity for my children to go to school and I will not be pressured, I have an opportunity to have good roads, I have an opportunity where my children can have, technical colleges. Why am I going to suppress, all of that? Because you, Washington, are my relative, and I have to put you in power, even though I have given you power before and you have failed to make my life better. All the years you've had in power is all about self-glorification. It's about yourself. It's about your family. It's about your immediate relatives, but not, the ordinary people who see you as, their hero and their king. That is changing. The dynamics is changing, and people have to, reality is setting in, and people have to know that if you are a leader, you must do something for your people to make their lives better. That Coco story is not going to work anymore. Everybody wants you as a leader to make their lives better.
So that is it. We take our last topic on trending issues tonight that has to do with the Unity Party and its supporters that besieged the premises of the National Elections Commission today in their quest to ensure that NEC releases the final voter roll and to know how many polling places in the country and precincts as well, and how many total registered voters in the country. But before we go into that, there was a statement that came from the Monserrado youth chairperson today, and it sparked up some confrontations, because I could see the journalists asking him repeatedly, why do you say this? Why do you support this? But when he said that, the journalist got concerned and said, why do you say this? Why do you say? So let's go to the video and listen to what is his name? Wamplu. Sylvester Wamplu had to say today at the National Elections Commission headquarters, and we come back and we discuss it.
Thank you. I'm Sylvester with the presidency of Mosolano Unity Party. And we are here today to ensure the unity of Mosolano Unity Party. And we are here today to ensure that we need that document. We want to know how many polling places in this country. We want to know how many percent document. We want to know how many polling places in this country. We want to know how many percent the law rules be published and be given to us as a political institution. Up to today's day, man and be given to us as a political institution. Up to today's day, at the young people of this country, Lasana want to play with the interest of the Liberian people. We are at the Lasana to play with the interest of the any attempt she is fair enough to conduct a free and fair elections. But this time we should know how many polling places and how many percent free and fair elections. But this time we should know how many polling places will be how many percent. Any attempt for any secret polling places to be established, we support any attempt of people agents. We support every statement of people agents. We are reading that and know that they're not or you have to go do your research on Instagram to rig our election. We will support you, or you have to go do your research on Instagram. You will be able to we support every statement as a political institution.
So there you go. So there has been this, discussion in the public that the Unity Party and its collaborator have got issues. And those issues are to destabilize the peace of the country. Quite recently, you listened to Senator Johnson when he said, the former vice president, if elected president of the Republic of Liberia, wouldn't be the one doing the job. It would be Jeremiah Coon usurping the function of the president, which is far enough different from what the Constitution says. The second thing, you heard it on tape recordings, and he spoke to the press right after the Unity Party launch on the 17th of September. And he said that if the elections are rigged, they will resort to something different. You listen to the Montserrado County chairperson of the Unity Party is reiterating and justifying what Senator Johnson said and saying that they confirm and they stand with it and they support it. So we're talking about the protection of the peace in this country. And these people are concerned about disturbing the peace and affirming, what Senator Johnson said. This is not what this country is actually yearning for at about this time. We young people, if you must ensure that NEC puts up the final voter roll and all of the polling places and precincts in the country that you must know about, these are not the supporting statements that we should be hearing. That you people at Unity Party and you young people in the country will support the things that come from Senator Johnson, then it sends a different message. It tells the Liberian people that what Senator Johnson has been saying, the Unity Party and the young people are in connections. And this is sad for our country. They need to stop it. The fact that they went at the NEC headquarters today, they have their right to do that. They have their right to go and sort their plights. But to be edifying and promoting these statements from Sylvester Wamplu to talk about they will, support the statement. What are the statements coming from Senator Johnson? It's all about war, and reverting back to the budgets. These are not the things we should be hearing. It's unprofessional. Let's hear you.
Sometimes I don't like to dignify. I don't like to go for these people, but I agree with you. What he says is, sad as a young man, but that is what the people in his party are planning to do. And these are the people, people like Senator Dillon and the folks in the Unity Party will put ahead to say exactly what is coming from them. Prince Johnson is a rebel leader, and so he fears nobody to say whatever he wants to say. But Dillon will support what Prince Johnson has said, and he will use a Wamplu to re-echo his message. That's how I see it. The fact of the matter is, Senator Dillon should know better. And I thought today's gathering even showed him that he has lost the grip of Montserrat County. You as a senator, you have all right whatsoever to go to the National Elections Commission to invite, Debeata Brown Lasana and her team, because you have that power and you are the senator of Montserrat County. And if you had any qualms, you have the right. She will give you the audience. But for you to say that you put up a press statement and say, we will move to the National Elections Commission headquarters tomorrow and demand the voter roll. Did they get the voter roll today?
They didn't.
And he went over there today. As a senator of Montserrat, it's that kind of mora. Your mora your light is really, dim, because if the senator of Montserrat County is going out and the people of Montserrat County are happy with you, the way you were overwhelmingly, elected, then that whole place you should have jammed.
It should be a lockdown.
Today. You should have locked that whole place. But it's a shame that, Dillon went over there. It was like nobody even went there. And you had those people, chanting their slogans and just making those kind of threatening remarks. Senator Dillon should sit back and ask himself whether he has lost it, because what happened today doesn't seem that way. And he went in there, met with the people, came back, and the same Coco story he explained to the press is something he would have sat right in his office and called Debeata Brown Lasana, or driven to the National Elections Commission without making a show of anything, and he was going to get the same answers he got from there. And if he won the results, the thing about it is everybody wants to show themselves. I think he has lost it, and he thinks that he can gain relevance at the expense of the National Elections Commission. But that doesn't seem to be working. Don't get me wrong. If the law says that you should publish the final rule, it's incumbent upon the National Elections Commission to do that. But for you as a senator to seek clarity, you don't have to carry talks or, people over there to prove what? What do you want to prove? People are tired of these kind of comments coming out of politicians.
Exactly.
Because obviously you are the ones who are making the money, and you are the ones who have the opportunity. The Liberian people gave you the opportunity to serve, and make Liberia better and talk on their behalf. But if you want to show yourself like you are the most powerful person when you haven't done anything enough to help the people of the county you represent, then it's a sad story. Because he went there today. Is he going there tomorrow again with those people?
Not exactly.
Because he was reverting now to, we have the right, and we'll make sure the National Elections Commission does not have the remaining 3 million that they have for runoff. Who's discussing runoff? We'll make sure that we appropriated that money. We'll make sure that the finance ministry finds the money. Yes, that's your job to do that. So you need to sit in your office and do that, instead of taking people to the National Elections Commission headquarters and pretend as, you are the hero for Montserrat County, which really proved nothing today, because we didn't see the kind of people who we thought we would see behind you, although you claim to be talking for everybody. How is, the National Elections Commission going to, according to him today, I listened to him, he said, we hear that people are printing voters' cards. Yeah, agreed, people are printing voter cards. How does that, in any way affect the voter roll? How? The fact of the matter is, as a political party, make sure on elections day, you have people observant, you have people at every polling place in the country, because everything in Liberia is difficult for people to rig elections. Because when you go to the polling places on elections day, you go there, the roll is on the wall. You go and identify your name there. And if your name is there, you go to the people, they'll check for your name. If you enter, they'll check for your name. And if they see your name, my name is Titi Gibro, they see my name, and then they give me what I need to do, to use to go and mark my ballot paper and leave from there.
Spirits wouldn't be
Your
voting.
people, spirits will not be voting. The people who you pay to be your pool washers will be there at 6 o'clock. Those same people are right there, and those ballots are counted. Nobody leaves that place until you finish the counting. If you don't have money to pay people, that's a different story. But it's a difficult thing for people to rig elections. So why are you making a show of nothing? It's just sad. In my mind, it's sad.
It's unfortunate. So let's go to the lines and take a few calls on all of the trending issues that we've talked about here this evening. Like you hear, we talked about the
guest is already here.
Our
So
guest
we'll
is
just take few callers.
We'll just take maybe 3 or 4 calls.
Yeah, and then we
08805140096. Good evening, 30 seconds. Cyrus is first on the line today.
Hello, Cyrus. Cyrus, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, my Mr. Professor, when the condition hopeful. My issue, I want to say, congratulations to my president. I wish you welcome you tomorrow, and my son will start the dinner. You will say the dinner is serious because you got it. Most of the people you are getting money home. Next thing you know, you can't really do it. I hear everything I saw down. What's in the dinner? There is something you know. You floating out of that investigation. You tell that people you able to put them. You know, now you like for that government. Not what you were telling very much. Not you like
Cyrus, what you don't say is still into it.
Good evening, CCP and that
How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Emmanuel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Emmanuel and Super Junior, youth chairperson of the People's Liberation Party of the Democratic Country. Thank you for the starting point and those training issues that you elaborate on. But I want to speak to an issue where the Unified Democratic has re-echo that they are in support of every statement that has been coming from Senator Johnson or General Johnson. Yeah, we are aware of this. This is the reason why we say some of our president is not a peaceful person. The former vice president has been secretly supporting and telling the common law to make this reckless statement against the peace and stability of our country. But we are not afraid from the angle of the CDC, We are afraid of one thing, and that is our Senator, the president. He's the only peaceful person. But the United Party is aware when they were here 12 years, they could not contain our opposition party. We maintain every peace in this country because of our Senator. But the joint security has everything to do to maintain the peace of this country. And we have trust in the election commissioner that this election will be peaceful. And we have trust that we are campaigning vigorously at the charity hole that the people of this country will elect president. We are in the ballot. Thank you for having me, for giving me the time, because there's no time to go to Butu, and Senator Johnson will not go to Butu.
Good evening.
Final caller.
Final caller.
Okay,
let's just leave it.
Is off the line, so we're gonna leave it at that. And our guest is already here, so I'm sorry we're not taking calls anymore. We go straight into our talking point for today. Mr. Musa Kane, welcome to Open Conversation.
Thank you.
I think he has the Mac 3. Yeah.
Is it 3?
Mac 3, yeah. 3. You got 3 on?
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today.
It's 3. No, you are not on, Musa. Okay, yeah, your microphone is off.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here, especially at this time on the network. Good view of you. I'm happy here.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully well.
Wonderfully well, running campaign and still doing wonderfully well.
Yes, right now it is part of our activities. So once you prepare, you're ready for it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so tell us, who is this journalist turned politician? Who is Musa Kane? What have you been, involved with till today? Before we come to your quest to run in my district?
I love how it's possessive.
Yeah.
My district. I love it. Thank you so much. My name is Musa Mbikene. I'm professionally a journalist. I work with you and everybody, most people here for a very long time. Professional one. We work for a long time in the legislature. Yes, again, I went on to serve as president of the legislative journalist. I served previously as Secretary General of the Executive Mansion Journalist before moving to the Secretary of the President of Liberia. Yeah, that's my professional life. Besides being a journalist, I have education as an administrator, diplomat, and student of law. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I've lived in District 2 since 1990. To be specific, the C. Francis Belt. I've been there. I went to school there, graduated from high school there. My parents lived there. I also constructed there. So it means I'm a District 2 boy. Yeah.
Private. We talk about family life. You
Yes,
married?
I'm married. I'm married with kids. Yes, yes, I'm married.
How
Beautiful
many
lady.
children?
I have two.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So, you in law school, journalist, turned politician. Why, what gave you that urge? Why do you want to be, a representative?
Sometimes we sit and criticize. Every day we see the problem. And I know on Sky FM, one lady I used to know, we're busting up, criticizing, doing everything. We used to be TT. And I know she understands the issues, right? We know the problems. We've identified the problem. Do you think it's important we just sit and just talk about the problem without coming to solve some of those problems? And I said, no. The best way we can solve our problems in Liberia is to be able, firstly, to identify those problems. And we've sat and mostly to identify them. We should walk in, we should move in, we should get involved in the process of rebuilding Liberia, in the process of changing some of the things we criticize over the years. And that is what I thought it was important that we get in the process. And now we are there. The message is resonating. And hopefully after October 10, the people will do the rightful thing.
Okay, hopefully after October 10, the people are going to do the right thing. So it's your decision to run and not the decision of the people.
No, if I've said to you that we've solved the problem, in politics, there are people who will always come to you. You have a right to say yes or no. In Liberia, people see that they are unable to do it, but they just want to come and do it. We live in a district that's one of the biggest, the third largest district, 61,500 plus. I've not come here to say that 100% of all the numbers asked me to, but we have a very huge number who came and asked us to. That is why Musa Mbikene is among the front runners for the district right now.
Okay, so the people in the district have asked you. I heard you say that, you have identified the problems. What are the problems?
There are several problems we have. We have a national problem in the legislature, and we have a district problem.
Let's hear this problem.
So let's start
key ones.
Let's start key ones quickly.
Yeah.
In the legislature, we know the current system in the legislature needs to be reformed.
What is that?
Number one, the lawmakers, their responsibility, that any other legislature across the world, is lawmaking, representation, oversight. You have central administration in the legislature for the House of Representatives, headed by the chief clerk, for the Senate, the Secretary of the Senate. We now have a legislature that lawmakers who should be doing their job are now usurping the function of these democratic institutions. They're wanting to do all.
How?
I want to give you several examples.
Okay.
I'll give you a few. Let's take, for example, the Committee on Waste, Means and Finance. That's the only there are two constitutional committees in the House, Waste and Means and Public Account. All the other committees were created as a result of the rules of the House. These are the two committees in the Constitution. The duty of that committee is for the appropriation of the budget, not to get involved into budget manipulation that after a year or two, the chair and co-chairs on Ways and Means are the richest people in Liberia. Manipulate the budget at the expense of the people where state radio and other institutions are calling for money. One person or two persons or group of persons are there manipulating the budget for their personal aggrandizement.
Okay, let's stick with that a little bit. Let's stick with that.
Let's
stick with that a little bit. The Public Accounts Committee and the Waste, Means, and Finance Committee, are they separate from the lawmakers' function? How do the lawmakers manipulate, those committees? And how do they usurp their functions? Is what I want to know.
I'm saying to you, the Committee on Waste, Means and Finance is a committee in the House that comprised of lawmakers.
Of course.
On the other hand, we have the Finance Committee, department in the House. You have the Budget Department in the House. These are people who work with the House, but they are not lawmakers. They are under central administration. We have the controller. We have these people. They have their duties to do as prescribed by the legislature.
Sure. How does
I'm saying
function?
the function of these institutions are being usurped by the committee. For example, Committee on Ways and Means, the chair, the co-chair, and others, they are involved in appropriation, which is their duty. When the money is appropriated, it is the responsibility of the institutions in the House to do it. Once they sign, it comes to the Committee on Finance. We know all the financial system. You know it. You have a system here. System to avoid corruption and other malpractices. But with my experience in there, that is why you on several occasions argue, cry for this House, the legislature, to be audited. We did it. I remember. You know why the legislature cannot be audited? Because if these institutions were doing it and they are involved in graft, the lawmakers will ask that they be investigated, right? But those guys themselves are involved in doing the work of those institutions and those guys. Because of that, they do not have the ghost. And we've cried for that body to be audited again. That is my proposal with my reform document. Like it is, I've read to other institutions. Once the budget is appropriated, and then allotted, appropriation in budgeting is just documentation put here. Allotment in government budgeting is when the finance ministry send that amount to your account. Once it is in the account of the institution, the job of the legislator lawmakers are over. When they want to get their pay, the speaker, in collaboration with the budget committee, the finance office, controller, do the signing, you get it. If anything, that's number one. The second one, we saw the rules of the administration. The chair and co-chair rules of the administration, they are passing around office to office, distributing gas slip. On several occasions you were there were claims and counterclaims about committee members taking orders, that was stealing orders, their colleagues' gas slip. You know it.
How does that affect me as a citizen?
Yes, and let me tell you how it affects you. You ask a question, let me tell you how it affects you. If the guys get all the money for themselves and they are there fighting for that money, they will not have the time to stand up for you. Let me tell you, in the legislature is a separate branch of government. In constitutional law, one branch cannot do anything that is referred to as government function or government duty or government doing. For a duty to be called a government action, two branches of government should agree to do it. And that's why we have Article 3 that talks about check and balance. One branch to avoid what we have rubber stamp legislature to avoid the president just doing any other thing, whether it's this president, whether it's next president, whether it's the past president. So once the legislature is independent, the legislature can checkmate. That is why then some of the problems we have will not happen. But now with the reform, we try to avoid how rubber stamped our legislature is. Number one, how few persons want to get everything at the expense of the people.
Okay.
The reform will capture all of those issues.
Okay. I understand the point where you come from when you talk about, as a lawmaker, you serve in the function of the
departments,
Public Accounts Committee.
No, the Public Account Committee is a different.
The Ways, Means, and Finance.
The Ways and Means.
People who are
No, I'm talking about the Finance Department. For example, you have the ELBC, you have the News Department, Radio Department,
of course,
Finance
I understand
Department,
that,
all of
because
that.
if you are the controller and you take orders from your boss to do certain things you got no business doing, then it becomes a problem because your boss is not going to audit you. It's not going to agree that you be audited because that boss will be held responsible.
That's
So
right.
I understand that part of it. The one I disagree with a little bit is where somebody has gas slip and distributing it. That is for them.
No, this is my point in there. This is my point in there. You need to understand.
When I have the time to
Hello,
do
sir.
the job.
Hello,
when
madam.
I have the time
Hello,
to do
madam.
the job.
Let me
for
just
the
clarify
Librarian
for the people to understand. You have people, central administration. They are responsible for all of these issues. My problem is allow them to do their job. They are being paid by the people of Liberia.
I agree with you.
So if they cannot do their job, you have a lawmaker who will not go to session, who will not do the people's job.
Yeah, you will not be doing his job in your words.
His duty is to be sharing
gas slip.
My problem is if the central administration is doing her job, all you do is to supervise and make sure it is done rightly and justly. Once that is done, we do our job as lawmaker, pass law, do representation, do oversight rightly. The people we pay to do this job, allow them to do the job we pay them for. If Titi Jibo agree to pay me in Musa Kenny to work in the newsroom, and then I'm preoccupied with different job without doing the work I'm paid for, every day we come, I play Zuma and all again, will you say I'm doing my job? Don't waste money on me.
Well, for me, that is, that issue, you have that issue with the lawmakers. Fine, that is an issue. But even if you allow me to do my job, or you are allowed to do your job as a lawmaker, if the lawmaker doesn't even know what he or she is doing over there, she would just find other things to do instead of working for the Liberian people. What is cardinal is you serving the function of somebody, at the expense of the Liberian people, where you will collect money that is not yours and you refuse to be audited. That is a key issue. My question to you is, what difference are you going to make in that regards when elected as the lawmaker of District Number 2?
Thank you so much. If Musa Kene is elected today as representative, the procedure, when there's a new election in the legislature and new lawmakers come, the past law is rules of the House is no longer a rule. We should come back to formulate our rules, right? If we agree to continue the old rules, it's with us. If we want to reform, we can capture those reforms within our laws. That will be our first target. For us to agree for the current rule to come back is to do several amendments. And those amendments, we clearly state the functions of this department and clearly state the function of various committees in the House, committees of the legislature, what they're supposed to do. Once there's a clear, defined rule of everybody, then we all will know exactly what to do and what not to cross.
Do you think the rules are not defined?
If you read the rules, right? If you read the rules and see, you will see they are all open. They are all open. Some are ambiguous.
And so
obviously.
You think if that happens and you're elected and the rules and new rules are to be made, you're going to make sure that those rules are clearly
capture
defined?
all of the issues, yes.
How sure are we that that's going to happen? Your colleagues might not, buy into that.
If they do not buy into it, I'm going to come back to this radio and tell Titi and others that we want this reform that will try to fight corruption, graft, and other issues. Our colleagues are saying no. The people of Liberia should know and join us to fight for this change.
Okay. Let's leave the legislature a little bit and get back to
there are several things we want to do in District 2.
Okay.
Number one, there are several things I want to start to summarize them. We want to fight drugs.
How?
Our communities are disintegrating. Our district, our people, the family who is all disintegrating as a result of the proliferation of ghettos. All of our kids are involved into this, and we want to do two things. Working with the state, we remind use our district as a pilot project, achieve two things. Number one, prevent new people from getting into addiction.
How are you going to do that?
How are we going to do that? Number one, we want to ensure that vocational and technical education is prioritized in our district after high school. We've observed after high school, the kids sit in the district, idle, no work to do, no nothing. At the end of the day, they get encouraged into these things by their friends. Not everybody will have the opportunity to get to the university on time. We have the Monrovia Vocational Training Center in the district. Right now, it's not operating as it is because, according to them, every day the Youth and Sports Ministry is saying there's not enough money for this, for that. We're going to ensure that the institution is supported through the national budget. It gives opportunity to our young people to get educated through technical means. But if we observe that the Youth and Sports is incompetent, is unable to clearly support the institution with the budgetary allotment, we're going to submit a bill for that institution to be autonomous, get budgetary allotment, and do their job. Once we keep the guys basic, some are learning carpentry, masonry, or just all of the technical trade. In my opinion,
do you know how many students attend the MVTC? How many students does that institution incorporate?
The last time, according to them, we have sometimes it go up to 3,000 to 5,000. 3,000 to 5,000.
You have a district of over 50,000 people. Approximately 25% of those people will be young people. Besides the MVTC, what else? Because you say you want to prioritize technical
and vocational education. Those who do not have the opportunity to get to the MVTC, we can spread them work to get to other vocational technical education.
How are you going to
We believe it is through investment in vocational and technical education that we can build our country.
I totally agree with you.
So we're going to do that, not just in our district, but we want this to be a national program. Increase vocational schools. And I'm happy this government has sent, I think the last time they sent about 50 or 60 vocational teachers went to East Africa, was it East Central Africa, to learn to come back. That's wonderful. We want to do more of that. We want to educate more of our people into vocational education. In my opinion, and based on studies, once we keep our children busy, we're going to limit the amount of people going into the ghettos, not just in our district, not just MVTC, because we cannot just build 2, 3 into one district. We should have a government, and we know we have a government that believes in education. We can expand it to other places that we get real investment in education, not just secondary education that everybody is doing, but vocational education. We're going to focus that, but we want to start with MVTC in our district. We talk about the number of people. Not everybody in the district graduate from high school at the same time. Right? Not the entire youthful population.
Even at that, if not everybody graduating, if you have 5,000 persons,
if you have 5,000
are not going to come from your district alone, because it is not your district school. That school is for everybody in Monrovia. So you have people coming from different districts, so they're not going to, unless you're telling me
that is why
you say this.
That is why I just said to you, we're going to invest in vocational and technical education. But
Are
I
you
know
going to have
that's
to,
why.
you know,
Let me just conclude. I know not everyone in the district will have to go to vocational school. There are people who are in universities who are already there, right? There are people who are unfortunate, are unable to go to university. The lawmakers will work to take full responsibility that those who have space at the MVTC, they can go there. Those who have space at another one, NRTC, right, they can go to other places. But our priority should be teaching our people with vocational education is key. If that is going to prevent or going to limit the amount of people going into the ghetto. But what do we do for those who are already there? That is key. That is important. In our manifesto, we've said we want to do either of these issues. One, either if there's no cash for government for us to get money to build more rehabilitation centers, there are existing institutions we can empower to use so we can rehabilitate our guys. Once they are rehabilitated again, we are going to ensure that many of them get their vocational education. Again, once they graduate, they can be able to do something for themselves. With that being done, we ensure collaborating with the DEA, get rid of all of the ghettos, set up leadership structure in all of the communities. If you see this happening, alert us. We call the DEA is taken down. We're not going to allow this structure of ghetto to stand up if the system is in place. You know, our problem.
What system is in place?
If no system,
I say, if what system is in place? What system is not in place? Because
I'm talking about. I just tell you about having a leadership system
in
various communities. Yes, that once new after we just taking them those already there from the ghetto, train them, rehabilitate them, make sure they do not come back. Work with the DEA, break down all of the ghettos. Once it's broken down, we make sure we have leadership structure system across. Not going to break them down. Once we see anything coming up, we see any smoke somewhere or somebody is doing something, you just inform the system. We are like the DEA is taking down those involved. You know, we already have a law making it non-billable. But that law will just punish those involved into all the selling and things. What happens to those involved in the act? We need public policy with legislature working on the executive to address their issues.
Well, what would that? I like the way you are running for seats. At the national legislature. The way you will talk about the solutions to the problems in Liberia. If the voters hear these things, they just think that wow, our problems has.
Today, I'm not a politician. I'm a professional person.
You're a politician.
You're a politician.
I'm not a mainstream politician. Don't call me a politician. I'm a technician and a professional person wanting to go to a public office.
This is not something that you can do by yourself.
Exactly.
This is something you have to work with national government to make happen. And if you don't, there are competing priorities.
That's right.
So nobody should tell people that they're going to create heaven on earth.
But nobody is saying that. And I want to say to you, there are competing priorities. But the future of this nation is our foremost priority as people and nation. I'm coming to the future. If all of our cakes are turning into ghetto, we call that competing priorities. No. If all our community, if all of our communities are turning into criminal den, let me tell you, drugs is start to crime. Drugs is start to crime. If this is
disagreement on that.
If we do this, it's going to help to reduce crime.
I agree with you, but it is not going to happen.
It's not bread and butter. I know that. That is why I'm going to prioritize the fight for that.
It doesn't happen when you can shout all you want, you can say all you want to say, right? But when you get to the national legislature, it's a totally different ballgame.
I'm aware of that.
Talk about the different homes where people take care of disadvantaged young people. After the passage of this bill by the president, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is working now with those entities in various communities where they can take young people. The stage where they're on now is voluntary, those young people who voluntarily want to leave the substance.
Exactly.
So that's what they're working on. They're going to reach to a place where they have to take them forcibly because they have refused, to go.
And that is why they will need legislators who will support that endeavor. If we have legislators who do not care about that, who will not want to appropriate the actual funding,
doesn't care about that.
If we cared about it, if we thought we were doing something about it, we've gone nearly 6 years, right? We've gone nearly 6 years. We're just talking about the process to do. Our lawmakers, we've said,
at least we're talking
I'm
about
coming
the process
from year one. From year one, this should have been prioritized.
So why wasn't it prioritized, 12 years ago, 18 years ago? Why wasn't
That's
it
the problem.
prioritized?
So I'm not going to what 12, what 6. I'm saying what we can do now. For me, I don't believe in going back why Mr. X didn't do this.
So this
we
is
want to solve the
now.
problem.
This is happening now, and you make it seem as though this is why you should go to the national legislature.
No, I'm giving several
You
issues.
should go to the
I'm
national
giving several. I just
legislature
giving one
because
it's
lawmaker from my district.
Yeah.
That is the only way.
These things will
because
be
he
possible.
has-
I
he
think you have
has
the know-how.
the technical know-how.
Yeah.
For me, that's my point with you people
So
who
what's-
are running for
Naja, we people
yeah, you people who are running
for leadership.
yeah, for leadership,
Okay.
because you make it seem as though it's as easy as you say it. Okay, I hear
So
your
okay,
issue
Jackson,
on the
I hear several persons running, saying what they're able to do. People elect them based on what they can do. Failure to do so, the people are going to hold them to it. For instance, we have a president. The president told exactly what he want to do, and every day he comes say what he want to do. Can I say, Mr. President, why are you talking there? Because it's not bread and butter? No. We're going to say, yes, Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you can. If the president fail, we will come back and know why the president has not done it. The president need to answer question to that, right? So similar thing with us. If we are saying we want to do this, that is why it's recorded. If we cannot, let the people hold us to it.
So Musa, let me bring you back to this. You struck a very nice policy. Now, with all of these things that you've said, going to the House of Representatives, if the possibility exists that this is implemented, it will help relieve the Liberian children, the Liberian people that are grappling with this issue of drugs. But Musa, what have you been able to do in your capacity as Musa Kane to be able to, move in this, in this light, so the people see the ability in Musa Kane, then they give you the responsibility with that hope that yes, Musa started, he's able to do it, and we believe that he can complete it because of the track record. What's your track record in fighting drugs?
Wonderful. The first thing I've ever to do, first when I was now mostly in the community, something we started way back. We started to give awareness, getting people who are into the communities to radio station and places to see how we can fight it, inform the people, educate the people. We started with education. When I used to be with Truth FM on the TVS, we provided opportunity. Every institution that were coming to talk about fighting drugs, whether in my district, whether area, we gave them opportunity to do. That's what we do. That's the first thing we did. We move in the district, move in the ghettos on several occasions with them to see how we can work to get the guys to inform, to educate them how to leave the ghetto. We did that on several occasions. We also work with several non-governmental organizations to see how we can get them from there. But NGOs operate through grant, and the grant have a limit. Once you count, the grant is lasting for 1 year. After the 1 year period, it ends, right?
So that means you haven't had a success story in fighting drugs.
So fighting drugs is a national problem that should be taken as a continuing process. One person, Musa Kane, cannot fight drugs.
Totally
I'm coming
with you.
everywhere around the world. Drugs is a syndicate. drugs. It's a syndicate, starting with those who import, the distributor, the local distributor, those who take it to the ghettos, those who sell it to people. It's a wide-range syndicate that's very big. To fight it, it will take some national effort. That is why I want to commend. That is why I'm commending the state for taking the first action by having a drugs law that make it non-biddable for those offenders who are bringing it into other things. Fine. We are talking now the legislature working with the executive for a public policy. Public policy is implemented by public institutions like the executive. But that public policy will get a strength through a legislation, right? For us to make this better. The current law, perhaps we may amend that to give institutions responsible for looking at public policy the opportunity. And then the legislature that we will be in, if elected, will give funding through budgetary means
for the operations of that.
Let's leave
Yes.
that and go. I hear about education. I hear about the young people when it comes to drugs. What else do you have on your menu?
We have several. Can we just summarize all the other ones?
Okay.
We're going to be discussing working with the. I've gone to people. I'm not telling people that I will be able to do this by myself. Another rich man always say to people, we're going to work with our understanding through the national budget. When the budget is going, we know we have competing priority, like you said. All the districts need road, but we need it most, in my opinion, in Monserrado County. We're going to work, yes, we're going to work with the state, the budget committee to ensure that our district is captured in that. That is what the Ways and Means Committee, as a constitutional committee, is stating every county should be represented on the Ways and Means Committee for the person representing the county to seek the interests of the people of that county. That's a rationale that the Constitution says.
You might not be the person representing Monserrado on that committee if you're in.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm going to work with my colleagues. I just said. To ensure that our district is captured with rural infrastructure, with education.
Where in district you want roads? Where in district number 2 you want roads?
We want road at several places. The Sifrense Road is a priority. Peace Island Road is a priority. The Necleton Road is a priority. There are several priority areas across district. Several ever. The Amagashi Road going in is a priority area. If you go to the Johnsonville Inn from the Basel Town Way, it's a priority. The entire district is priority, but we're not going to do everything at once because, again, there are competing priorities. Other districts want. This is an opportunity that is possible. When this president took over, we saw what happened around his houseway, how we open alley, the way it relieved the people of traffic and others. We can extend that to other areas. In some of those places we're talking about, they were already earmarked for construction. However, we're going to ensure, work with our colleagues, work with everybody to ensure that they are captured, not just infrastructure, education, how we work with the health committee to ensure that the hospitals in our district are strengthened. We want to work to ensure that the Jacobton Public School is completed so we can have public education for our people. These are things, there are several other things.
You don't have a public school in district number 2?
We have a public school in Johnsonville Public School in Johnsonville, way up there, but we need a public school in Jacobton. It started already, it just the completion. Right, we could not complete it in the last 6 years. It started from the last administration. The last 6 years, we cannot complete it. We've asked the president, when the president went to District 2, the citizen asked him to do. Again, he committed himself to it. When we are elected, we're going to ensure that that commitment is to turn into reality by ensuring there is money in the budget for the completion of the school.
What's your disappointment in the incumbent lawmaker?
Everywhere I go, I decide, I try my utmost best not to focus on talking about the incumbent or those who are running against. However, because you ask the question, we want to do it. One of the disappointment is the Jacobton Public School. Our lawmaker couldn't talk with colleagues, with the president consenting before that he will be able to do it. You have a legislator. Your job is just to, because the president deals with several other issues, right? Just to remind him, Mr. President, the citizens tell you they wanted this. We just need, you in the legislature, there's a way you do it. That's why they say, for your people. If you cannot make the case for your people, then they cannot get it. That's not one he feel. So you can see that because they didn't do it for the part that he was on the CDC ticket. And he could not win the trust of the CDC. Just tell you how you think
he couldn't win the trust of the CDC, or he felt on his,
his responsibility
to, talk for his people.
He felt for the people. I just want to say, not just one. He's always not just the people, because there are some people who have issues with their people, but yet their relationship with their party, they stay on their party's ticket, right? But for you make it with your district. You not make it with your party.
Okay.
So you get
school and what else?
So we have the school. We want to do that. That's for education. We're talking about road. We're talking about everything.
I'm still on the failure of the incumbent.
Okay, I'm going to stay on the failure of the incumbent. There's an incumbent and others who succeeded in ensuring to divide our district.
How?
They believe when they win, they believe that they want to, and on several occasions, that was raised to him, that not just him, others have been doing. They believe they want to divide the district to the upper end this way, in the lower end. The lawmaker decided to abandon a certain part of the district. Even the places he said he was, the people said he also not doing anything there. If you check the rules I talk about, right? We need, even if there's no money, consistent rehabilitation. All you need to do, sometimes you get salary, just for caterpillars, sometimes the road gets by, you have to roll over them. Because while we try to get money from the state to do the pavement, but we can make the road pliable for our people. The last time
we expected him to take money from his pocket.
I'm not saying not just money from his pocket. We have several money. We have the 30,000 that came.
What did he do with it?
He has not been able to report and tell us what he did with it.
Okay.
You can use that, get the people around, your roads are bad, we can get museum money to get Caterpillar, buy fuel, and pave your roads.
Okay, so
there are several other things
in the last 6 years.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not made any report, and I think that is why the people have decided unanimously that he's not coming back.
So who's coming?
Musa and Buchanan.
Where's your stronghold? Where's your stronghold in the district? I haven't heard you talk about the old people in the district. What's your plan for them? Tell me about the old people in your district.
So in my agenda, just because we're summarizing them time, we have about the old folks, we have the women, we have the disabled community. For most of us, the youth, that's my area. I always say to young people, my victory is a victory of all young people, whether you support me or not, because we are there to represent you. More than 50% of the people in this country are young people, and I think we should have a say as to what we want in the legislature.
More than 60%, in fact.
Yes, more than 60%. We should have a say in the legislature. Every decision taken should also reflect our views and aspiration, because everything put about future, we are the future.
Okay, even though we are the future, you are the future, but there are other people before the future.
Yeah, that's right. So our plan is, if we win, we're going to work with everybody, work with our mothers, work with our fathers. Because as new men, the first thing we were taught is to respect our elder. Right?
Go tell that one to Yeke Koluba. What are you going to do?
No, I'm not here to talk about it.
What are you going to do?
So what we're going to do, we're going to work with them. We will work for some of our mothers. We're going to work with them, those in the market and area, how we can work with them for empowerment, whether to give them some, because the lawmakers get some. I was working, talking about some those guys contesting that the lawmakers are getting paid too much. Yes.
What do you mean when you say that?
They are getting more money. We should not be getting, because I see the
legislation. What do you think a lawmaker should make?
A lawmaker should get only 5,000.
Under 5,000.
Yes, under 5,000.
Under 5,000.
Under 5,000 to 3,500, 4,000.
Anything there above, under that, but nothing above.
Is that your own record? How much should a lawmaker make?
Should be under 5,000.
Under 5,000 is not a number.
Yes, it's a number.
1,000.
I'm telling you, under 5,000.
Under 5,000.
Anything under there is acceptable.
4,999.
Everything under there is acceptable. You know what I say that? Right. So, but if you are getting more,
Do
you
you know
can
how
use.
much a lawmaker makes now?
It has been fluctuating. You know, we are friends.
Working government, your salary fluctuates where?
We have,
Never fluctuated.
You know,
Changed when it came
I'm
to
coming-
harmonization.
I'm
It
coming-
doesn't fluctuate. Your
I'm
salary
coming.
is your salary.
Lawmakers' salary is by law. It's not much. But what taking up that type of fluctuation is the incentives
The gas
that everything that takes up the actual amount. So if you see the if you say the combination of everything, that's why I say it fluctuates, right? Because approximately sometimes it goes to 8, it comes to 7, sometimes it goes to now, based on the way they do the budget to have their allowances and everything into it. So that's why I say it's fluctuates, because the salary is set, but you know, other benefits are not set. Sometimes it go up, sometimes it cannot, depending on the budget, depending on what is there.
What's your stronghold in the district?
District 2 is my stronghold. I work everywhere.
Playing, right?
See,
You really
after October 10, Titi, I will come on your radio and I will tell you across. You will see the number of votes I'm going to get across the district. I'm also cognizant of the fact that if you open the line today, there will be people who will say, we for the district, we don't support you. That is why we have over 61,000 very large district.
But you know that
you will not be able to get everybody. Right?
Have you visited all of the different
spectrums?
I've tried my utmost best to reach to a very large portion of it. Again, there are places I've gone into District 2. The people will tell us, you see no representative photo, no senatorial photo, no presidential photo. You see how remote some part of the district is.
I've not even seen your photo in my area.
Where area?
Behind the police station.
You don't see my photo there? Maybe what part of being a photo?
Right, even there.
I mean, your picture not done.
Let me tell you, right before you reach to the police station, when you coming from our road, from the Pelham Road to come there, right between before you come to that turning point, you see my big photo on the left right there. If you come your left, if you go in, it's your
one photo.
No, I just tell you one, right? And there are several
you got
others.
Stickers around?
Yes, I have them.
Where are they?
Yeah, across the district. If you not see it, the part of the district you haven't seen it, then I'm going to, my guys are listening, they will check up. Maybe sometimes she put a poster, maybe it's possible, maybe someone have taken it down or something may have happened. So we will go there by tomorrow to check up. If they are not there, we're going to replace them up.
How do you do how do you reach out? How is your outreach done?
We get to communities. Sometimes we move from room to room. Sometimes we meet people through organizations. Sometimes we meet
you guys
people.
Have organizations in the district you're working with?
Yes. Sometimes you do through community leadership to lead you into the community. So there are several models of outreach we use. Sometimes we move to churches. We move to mosques where people congregate. Sometimes we go into trust centers. We just walk into Atai places and talk with people.
What is your footprint in that district?
My footprint is large.
Tell us. Tell us your footprint, Musa. There's large footprint. Break them down into spectrums.
Thank you. As somebody who's been living in the district, who's been working for the last 15 years, I've been investing in education in the district. Even when we used to be passing up and down there, I have people on scholarship in the district.
Who you used to be passing up and down?
Me and you. Not because you pass it now, you know I'm coming from.
But we pass around in Central Monrovia, not in district number 2. So.
No, I didn't say in district 2. I said when we used to be passing around, right? Okay. I used to be paying scholarship in district 2.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying we used to be in district 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No, let me clarify. I used to be doing education. I used to be doing things. That's why. If you go, you will see most of the schools. I'm going to give one example. 2 weeks ago, I went to visit an intellectual center and lecture them. They asked me similar question. I was talking about school. 2 guys came out that they graduated under my scholarship. I don't know them. They said was it 4 or 5 years ago that they graduated. And everywhere.
You just give scholarship in schools and pay school fees.
Sometimes you go to school, you talk about those who are topping their schools. You help to in classes, you educate them. Sometimes some parents will come to you that they do not have the hand. They want you to help their children. You help those children through their family. Sometimes you may not know those people you're helping through their family. Okay. There are a lot we've been doing. We started on a small scale. It got bigger in most of the schools, and that's why I'm proud of myself as a young man. I was able to do that. Besides that, we also help. I'm not a rich man, you know that. We work with some of our friends to see how we can do on 2 schools. Was it 2? The first we started one, then some school called us. We helped to do extension of their school with the help from me and some of my friends to do it. So again, we have some schools, whatever material to do, modern flapper, to build material, whatever book distribution, we're distributing copy book. We were doing just several other schools and across the
engagements. Now, Musa, let's come to this particular part. Musa, what would be your greatest disappointment if you happen to win these elections in district number 2? And you are not fortunate to achieve all of these things that you're saying before I get to the next question?
So I think to answer that, I'm confident. I always believe that I can achieve it. If I can achieve a particular goal, if I can, that will be the last result of my efforts. However, I want to assure you today that everything we say we do, we're going to fight
Musa, I'm not
to ensure they are done.
I'm not actually getting their answer. If you happen to win these elections in district number 2, and you say all of these things that you work hard to improve the education in district number 2, sanitation, you fight drugs and all of that. If you cannot achieve these things, what would be your greatest disappointment, Musa?
Now you want me to answer something that has not happened. So I want to say to you, let the time reach and then I'm able to achieve it based on the condition at the time. You're going to answer based on the circumstances.
Will you resign and you don't run again?
No, I'm not saying, I don't know what circumstances will come at the time. So I just said this blanketly, and then the situation is different. Why if there is something of manifest necessity, something beyond my control that happened and nobody in the country can control. So we are saying because of that.
Musa, there are particular outlining factors you are outlining here tonight. The issue with drugs. I am not talking about the unforeseen, right? The issue with drugs. You say you're going to fight drugs. You know it's a national crisis. The issue that has to do with health. The issue that has to do with sanitation. The issue that has to do with education. These are things you are concerned about that can be able to help alleviate your district from where it is.
Wonderfully right.
Exactly. So if you fail on these things, because you are blaming Representative Smith, right? Is he Smith? Representative Smith, on failing on connecting the district roads and education and all of that. Now he failed, in your words. What will be your greatest disappointment? That's what I'm saying. Well,
I didn't use the word fail on him. I believe he didn't do what are some of the things. I mean, I'm normally careful in using my words, and I choose them carefully. Failure is different from your inability sometimes to do something based on some issues.
Okay.
And I've said to you, I repeat, everything I've said is my utmost hope and trust that we will achieve them. If we do not, it's going to be based on the circumstances, and then we'll act based on that.
What happens if you don't win these elections?
Yeah, what happens? Why are you laughing?
I'm confident of winning this election.
What happens if you don't win?
I'm going to be Musa.
Are you going to contest again?
Until we change it.
Until you win it. Now let's go here, Musa. What's your view on this thing that has to do with politician crisscrossing from one political institution to another, predicated upon them winning as representative? What's your view on that? And when you win these elections, if you win these elections, are you taking that into consideration?
For me, more people, what I observe is during election time, people do not know what to do. They do not have party. Some know that they cannot win a party primary. They join parties that do not believe in the ideology of these parties. They join when they win. Sometimes they care less about the party. That's the situation. But one time I went, I don't know whether you can remember, I don't know whether you were still at the legislature. I went to Ghana with Samuel. I don't know whether you know Samuel, the guy. Yeah, we went to Ghana, and the system is in a way that if you are part of this party, you win on this party ticket, and then you cross to the another party, your seat is declared vacant. You go to contest in a by-election on your new party ticket. If you win, fine. But again, it's difficult for us to do this here because we have a constitutional provision that gives you right to associate and disassociate. Right? You have your right to associate and disassociate. You cannot have a statute anywhere that can go contrary to that constitutional provision until otherwise clearly interpreted by the Supreme Court. So again, it's a difficult thing to do based on the legal and other issues. However, I think we need to meet some good legal mind.
Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, so how we can see to find.
Are you looking forward to joining a different political party if you win because you look?
No, I'm going to stay on my party. I'm a person who believes.
Which party are you running?
I'm running on a ticket of the All Liberia Coalition Party.
Oh, ACOP, right?
Yes. So if I win, I'm going to stay in the legislature to fight for the ideology of my party in the legislature.
So I think we can now try to move to district number 2 via the mobile. Those of you listening in district number 2, Musa Kane has been represented on our platform tonight. He's taking us home for the weekend. The numbers are 08805140096, 08805140096 are the numbers to call and be a part of this conversation tonight. It's district number 2, Musa Kane.
So before you call, I want to call my guys that are listening. Please do not call and allow others who are not in my team to call, so we can know exactly. Get the feeling out there.
Yeah, you want to try a straight?
Good evening, Washington.
Good evening.
Good evening, Washington.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening to Safety. This is the voice of Eric Sartilo, and I phone in from the office of Patrick Kumoya in district number 3, Moshavada County. Tonight, I want to say you guys made my day. I want to appreciate the speaker for tonight, Mr. Kane. Good evening.
Yeah, good
Thank you so much for your splendid deliberation. Actually, you guys made my day tonight. I actually enjoyed the conversation, and for that reason, I'm going to inform my own boss to make an appearance on the show next week because of the interview tonight. Thank you very much for the work you continue to do for our people. Thank you for the work for in district number 2.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure that we have all of you coming on. Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
For the Washington, good evening.
Cyrus.
And I live in district number 2, but I just so I have to call.
Now, why you call?
Yeah, man. So I say, so I want to say good evening to the speaker again. We get good platform. For the family matter is, our president says, we will go up. So how you mind? So that. Then we will say, we will go out there and we will one more.
The way you're not living the two now.
So, passing, then we have to do nothing.
Okay, Cyrus. Now, one most interesting caller here, that guy. 08805140096, ELBC 99.9. Our conversation has been held with Musa Kane. Can I say for more?
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening.
You don't want to go there, in fact.
Good evening, sir. You're coming in faint. Oh, we can take you. You have to make some adjustments.
Okay.
Sir, please make some adjustments. Please, we beg you. Please. Let's take this next caller. Good evening. Can you
Really?
I'm telling you. Like, seriously. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. 08805140996. I don't know if we could have 0880
I don't know whether we're having problems with the lines or what.
so let's have an alternative anyway.
Somebody's on the line.
Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
This is Mawo calling from Chikoda. Please try to be precise.
Go ahead, sir.
I want to ask my honorable man in the studio.
Take down questions.
Hello.
You are live.
Yes. I want to understand what happened is impact for the youth of industry too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
08805140996 is the Lone Star line that we're using tonight to be part of the conversation. The conversation is open. It is you who's going to make it interactive at about this moment. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, my name is Max Chukafia and I'm calling you from 80 Tower Road community. I want to say good evening to Musa Kane, and I want to appreciate him for the splendid deliberation. I've been following Mr. Kane from Truth FM, Capital Building, and even at PUL. He's been very focused and very innovative on everything that he wants to do. And I want him to continue that zest. And I know that the people of District Number 2 are going to elect him. And pray that he will be elected in the cabinet building so that he can continue that and advocacy.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you come from?
Yeah, I was just on the line, but the network was down very good.
Go ahead. You're there.
This is William Swad. I call you from Lower Johnson Gate to be precise in Kazakhstan community.
Sir, you are live.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Kenneth, I want you to pay visits within Lower Johnson Gate to be precise in Kazakhstan community. Because I hear you saying that you've been visiting the district, that you've been going around, but the people of Lower Johnson Gate to be precise in Kazakhstan community, we don't know you and we haven't seen you before. So we want for you to pay a visit to all.
Okay, thank you very much. 08805140996 are the numbers to call and be a part of this spirited conversation tonight with Musa Khan as our guest representative candidate in District Number 2, and he's outlining all of the things that he can do for his district and his working relationship with the people in his district. Good evening. Okay, listening to the receiver. Good evening. Good evening. My gosh.
Hello?
So listen to your phone instead. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please listen to the phone.
What do you mean listen to the phone? Just lower the volume of the receiver behind you, sir. We're hearing ourselves behind you.
You get it sounding from the receiver first before you answer.
Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, hello, Musa. How are you?
It's fine. Go ahead, sir.
Musa, the problem with many of the people who are vying for position, they make all these promises, and when they get there, you know, a representative does not have the power to build schools, to build clinics, to build hospitals,
almost everything in the legislature, except some of the people do things little by little. But sometimes you make all these big promises to the people, make them, these promises look like lies to the people. And then some of the representatives forget about the people. They don't even go back because they have already paid them to vote. They give them rights. They give them other things just to vote for them. So I want you to keep that in mind. The question asked by the studio, the two persons there are very, very important. If you get there, don't come and give the people the excuses as usual. Oh, government did not listen. Oh, executive government, the president didn't do this, the minister of finance, and the rest of it. Your purpose in there is to advocate.
So I just want to do clarity to you first.
You from Darius DeLong. Darius DeLong has been advocating. He doesn't have to build houses for people. He doesn't have to build clinics. But he advocates for what? For all these things that when the executive is doing something wrong, you speak against it. You stand up for the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You respond to them, Musa.
You stand up for the people. Thank you.
You want to say something, Musa?
Yes, I just want to respond to that. Maybe you didn't get me well. Everything I said through the national budget. But I disagree with you when you say it is the job of the executive to do this. That is why we have three branches, they work together. The legislature does the appropriation. What you put in a budget and you want the executive to do, that's exactly what the executive will do. That's how it's structured. If you put money in a budget, you say for ELBC should receive the money. The only way ELBC will not receive the money, if we didn't raise the money we anticipated, then that will be issue. Once the money is raised, the executive is on a legal obligation to do so. That is why we ask that our budget will be a project-based budget. It will say 150 miles road, where we want to roll, how we want it should be captured in the budget.
How is that different from what he just said? The fact of the matter is you do all of the appropriations. It is implemented by the executive. If the executive doesn't do her part, your job now as a lawmaker who is representing the people will now hold the executive's feet to the fire.
And that's why he's saying differently. You're saying differently what I do. Everything I say what I want to do is true advocacy. That's the first word I use. So what may be different from the person?
Let's go back to the lines, Musa. Yeah, you respond to them. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Jangwa. I'm calling from Peace Island, to be precise, Block A.
Go ahead.
Musa, I want to say thank you
Musa
for whatever you have said.
Musa Kene, man.
And your platform. It's a good platform, but the question that the studio has asked you pertaining to your footprint, because how in Black A, I mean Peace Island, I've not only seen you, neither do I know you, and you are saying that you have created all part of the district. So, what can you show or can you tell us apart from you saying that you educated somebody? Because even you can put your boys together, they can come on and say, yes, you give us scholarship. But what with a community? Because this district 2 is comprises of 9 communities. So what with a community will say yes today? Let me vote for Musa Cherry because this is what he has done for us in the district. You are talking about Jimmy Smith. He was a failure, yes. But suppose you are not being supported by the government to support your platform that you have. Maybe it was a case with him. He also was not supported. He has been allocated in his whole politics. When he came to the United Party, he was turned down. Then when he come to the other government again, he has been turned down. So what would you do for us as a community member that will be able to vote for you?
Hold on. What kind of support he wanted? What kind of support Jimmy Smith wanted from the government?
You know, you have your platform. You have your platform as you are for your platform. It is good.
No, that Musa asking you. That me asking.
Want to make it?
Not Musa asking, Mama. That me asking you.
Yeah, no, I'm asking.
So what kind of support he wanted that he didn't get, for which, in your words, he failed the district?
Because he is saying that he will have a rural connectivity, and maybe to me to have seen rural connectivity.
Oh, maybe.
He had education, he had the completion of that public school.
Let me ask you one question.
What the connect started?
Let me ask you one question. Since Jimmy Smith became your lawmaker, have you had any, meeting with him? Did he meet with anybody in your community?
What?
You had any meeting with a lawmaker? The current lawmaker, you not have meeting with him since he been there?
Yes, we met with Jimmy Smith before.
Okay.
And he brought forth the same public school where he, according to him, the public school, when someone connect the public school, he wanted to turn it into his own personal name. But later on, they were fighting on it in order to be able to bring it for the district. And as according to him, the case, they were able to retreat the school in the district name.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's leave you
for the building to be completed.
He needed support. He's supposed to go to the legislature and make sure he talk for it.
How can he have support?
Not a personal money.
It's not a personal project.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's supposed to be implemented.
The first way, that's how they go.
Let's talk to two more callers and we'll come back to
Good evening.
Just jot your points down.
Good evening. You see what this guy is doing. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello?
Lower the volume of
your receiver, please.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Today is the first of the usual ambassador with no border ambassador Ziggy Brunel. I'm calling you from station number 3, Maswara County. Let me say thank you to your studio guest, and also highlighted so many cardinal issues based on his platform. But the issue here has to do with coordination with his team, because now he's going to be a new lawmaker within the House, should in case he win the election. And then now Lavelle is faced with so many issues, has to do with drugs, has to do with security, education, and other aspects. Now, as a lawmaker, comes 2024, when you should be in office, what's going to be his stand on the issue of drugs? Despite we hear that they have been passing the law, but the implementation aspect and enforcement aspect will also be burden on him. And then comes to education for the youth. We see that our government gave us, according to them, they said free education, but yet
what you say?
It's not improving.
When you say it's not improving, what do you mean?
Because there's a lot of allowances. Look at the state-run university. If you even enter the bathroom, you see chairs. There are a lot of problems
when you enter the bathroom, you see chairs. What do you mean?
And then
that?
Secondly,
don't go to it.
So what didn't you do in the bathroom?
Well, you enter the bathroom.
What do you do in the
chairs.
bathroom?
What you mean by that?
The bathroom. We are seeing pictures from the bathroom at the state-run university. It's very, very bad up. Very bad up. Even myself,
Wow. Are you a member? Are you in the University of Liberia?
I'm not in the University of Liberia.
So how do you know that those pictures you're seeing are from the University of Liberia? When last were you there?
Come again?
You heard me, sir. When last were you there?
The past entrance.
I said, when last were you there? You said the past entrance.
You're
Is that
there
the time?
to get a past entrance.
Musa, let's come back to you. You guys just come on the radio and just made whack.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I say thank you to all of those who call. Madam, firstly, you're referring, there are two Musas running. You said Musa Sharif, you know Musa Sharif, he lived.
Musa Sharif was running?
Yeah, he's running. He read before Peace Island, before he entered into Peace Island, that's where he got a radio station.
Oh.
So you think you're referring to Musa Sharif? This is Musa Kenan, the Peace Island you're talking about. We've been there on several occasions and we do a lot there. We've not been able to meet everybody because when you come, not everybody will come to meet you. Some of those people who have not met you will say, okay, you're not coming here, but yes, we've been on several occasions. the guy from Kangastan. We've been to Kangastan. Yes, I would like to come back. Maybe I didn't meet you. It was different organization, different situation. I think we can still meet. We can talk, and I can come there. I will be happy to meet you, and we can get in touch to see how we do it.
Call your number now because you really look
So
for it.
the next one I got is and I've said everything I said that we want to do. I'm saying in cognizance of the fact that I've been in the legislature for a long time as a journalist and I know how it works. So I'm not saying anything off my head that people will not know how you work. Yet be talking plenty. No, sir. The chief who are saying because when they say advocacy, it went from Delon. People believe now to criticize the government. And they say government is doing this, that is advocacy. No. Advocacy is to ensure when the budget is before the house, you make sure there is money in the budget for your people. These are the advocacy we're talking about. When we talk about war, we make sure there is money in the budget for this. That the time you can advocate. Now to say maybe something happening in government, you can't radio, you criticize, you do that, then you say you're advocating. You want a result of your advocacy in terms of development, in terms of other things. Legislative advocacy is used through or tools called the budget. And that is what the budget is called, or political tools. Every politician wants to use the budget to achieve their political agenda. If you cannot use the budget to achieve your political agenda, then you've not advocated. So it's easy. So that is why everything I said we want to do, and I've said through the budget, because we know how we work with our colleagues. While speaking, I told her how we work with our colleagues on the ways and means. If we are not representing Monserrato, we'll work with the person representing Monserrato. I stated that clearly, right? So everything, that's what I said. I'm cognizant of everything I've said is written and has been distributed because I want people to hold me to it.
Has your party launched?
Yeah, my party has launched. We did it on the 10th.
APCO, right?
Yeah, we did it on the 10th. That was one of the biggest launching in Liberia. Yes.
Was your stand-up era there?
Yeah, the party launching, you said party Nama district.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the stand-up era should be the highway.
Was he there?
He was.
Did he speak?
Yes, he did.
So I was thinking, Musa,
I didn't capture
your party,
that,
where your I'm sure I don't know whether your station was represented. It was live on several other institutions. I listened to it on OK. We listened on Prime.
You didn't attend a program?
You talking about
that's why I'm coming.
I'm saying it was also on radio.
That's why I'm coming. Musa, your party launch, you said on the 10th of August?
No, September.
September. Okay. How many people were you able to convince, to be at your party's launch? Because I believe that, all representative candidates on the ticket will be able to convince, the people from their districts, to troop them to the party launch. Where were Musa? And how many people?
If you see my Facebook page and other pages, you will see the number I have behind me marching from Lone Star gas station to where we did a launch at Alumina Factory. You will see the numbers. That video. I'm going to send you friend request for you. My phone is off. Maybe me and
people who were behind you from the district, right?
Oh, I'm you see commanding my people.
When are you launching? When is Musa Kenneth launching? I'm not talking about the party now.
Musa Kenneth is launching soon. The date we had to launch, the Scanner Barrel and others will be in Lofa, from Lofa to Nimba, Bon County and other places. So we're trying to adjust the time from here. That I nearly forgot about this interview. I was on my way there for the adjustment before they leave on tomorrow. But when you are so a miss call, that's how I tell her. I said, no, I can't miss this.
I'm like, seriously?
I really forget it. So from here, they are all aware. I'm going to walk there. We're going to set a new date. Then we can kick it from there.
Do you think you have, do you think you have more work to do in the district? And that is if you went to elections tomorrow and you didn't win. Do you think it will be because you haven't done a lot to make the people know you?
No.
And I ask this question because I know your potentials, right? I know Musa Kenneth. I've worked with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not a lot of people in the district have had that interaction
interpersonal.
with you. And so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
this
our
question.
district is extremely big.
Absolutely.
That's the fact.
Yeah, that's a
Very
big
big.
district.
So that is why out of the 9 persons running, when we're talking to one another, everybody says it's open. Anybody can win it. Because I just said to you, there are places I win, no candidates have gone there. Because they are remote part of the area. So it's open. To win it, you have to do more. It's not some of those smaller districts, or some districts have bigger number, but you know where to get them. Therefore, you know them, they are cluster area, you can go there. But it's
hard to tell
it's hard to tell where it ends. Sometimes there are places I went today. I didn't know initially that they were District 2. Way back, So that's why it's open. So if somebody is not winning, it is not that you haven't worked, because how remote, there are places I will not be able to reach, and another person will go there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking that question, because it's open. I hear you say it's open, and all of you contesting already have that, understanding that it's open, that, who bucket ticket free room. Anybody can win. If you don't win these elections, and I hear you say you will continue to, contest, what do you think you're going to focus on more?
So I know I'm wholly sure that I will win, but in election and any other contest, I'm cognizant of there are 2 things: win, lose. That's all. I will win, but if the other way is, I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to stay in the district that I live in the district. I will continue to work with the people. I know what I want, and I know what I want to achieve. And so for me, I'm a go-getter. Once I want this, I fight for it, and I'm sure I'm going to achieve it to do what I want to do for our people. That's why we are not sitting. We are walking around. We are moving around. We are getting to the people. And the message is resonating. Not too young to lead.
That's good. Sounds good. Let's hear your parting comment.
Yeah, your parting comment. We almost out of time. So we had a very.
Firstly, I want to say thank you to the both of you. It's good. Every time I'm being interviewed, say, tell me, now I'm sitting in the chair now to be questioned. Political chair. Thank you so much. And I want to say to the people of the show number 2, it's time for better leadership. It is time for a legislature that will reflect the views and aspirations of our people. It's time for a legislator that will take action that reflect what the people want. It is time for us to have the legislature that will stand for truth and justice and integrity. That's what we stand for. That's what we are asking you. Please support Musa Kene, number 4 on the ballot. Representative Minister, my photo are looking at fuller because I get flat, because I get wet clap. The man in the wear hat with a wear bazan. Like he red and wear gown. So please vote for me.
Are you wearing wear gown?
Where
on the
I'm wearing white.
You got any African thing on your head?
No, it's African. Like, you know what I did? The photo I used because the day I married was a wonderful day.
Okay.
I wore that clothes. And I saw the luck and the wonder in it. So I said, I'm going to have this.
So the marital luck, man.
You're
all using it to the political.
Yeah, marriage is a blessing anyway.
So that blessing for that marriage. So the same clothes I was wearing on my wedding day, now you know that garnish and something. Like same clothes I get on me because of the blessing from there.
Okay.
So that's what I have. Nothing extra.
The Bible says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor." So the favor follows. His name is Musa Kane.
But Musa, you guys are 9 running. I know we're out of time.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I hear you saying the people say I look like Fula man. You're running. The immediate past lawmaker is also running, and you have other people who are running from your tribe, right? So does that make it difficult for people to recognize who? You have another Musa again.
So again, everywhere I go, I'm one person who does not like to talk about Try.
No, I'm not talking.
No, I don't know. I don't want to get the point.
Musa, what's your number? Your number.
Number is 4.
My number is 4.
But if you guys are dressing the same way,
Did you dress the same way?
Someone distinguish you from
It
other
is
people.
different. If you see nobody is wearing white,
You're the only person in white.
Okay.
white and hat that are
White hat?
yeah. I'm the only person. The next person that wearing hat is another person, but it's of hat that low up here. The fathers wear up here. Yeah, that's the next person that wearing
Is
hat.
that the other Musa?
No, that's father doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No,
the
okay.
father,
doing, okay,
yeah,
father,
where
what
the
is-
fathers do this only. That's
Oh,
small
it's a
hat.
huge district, though.
Yeah, so that's the only two person
So
wearing
wearing
hat.
hat and you're in white.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
in white.
All right.
So that's why vote for the man in white.
Musa Kenneth. Thank you so
His name is
much
Musa.
for taking up your time to sit with us this evening on Open Conversation. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so
sincerely.
much. Again, before we go, Titi is working and she's making some money. Esther is working, they're making some money. Please contribute to my campaign right now. I want something for you. Talking about radio. How much you giving me? Yahweh, like my friend. How much you giving me?
You're not telling you nothing.
You're running in. Instead of you asking me to vote for you, you're asking
I
me
know
to
you will vote for me, my friend. Musa, you're a good friend.
Friendship Club.
Better friendship club. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Musa. We really appreciate you, and we hope and we wish you all the best. My name is Washington P. Tapper Jr., and she's...
Join us, God willing, Monday. We're taking a break, and join us Monday, God willing. We'd like to appreciate all of you who took up your time to listen to the show. Let's do this again Monday. Have a pleasant weekend. My name is Titi Jibra.
Bye-bye.
From the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together. I want